Hi, welcome to another edition of Bauer Business Bites. My name is David Tighe, Managing Director of Bauer Media here in Northern Ireland. And each week we take a detailed look at a specific area of business in Northern Ireland. This week I am really pleased to welcome our guest. That's Dr. Lisa Wilson, who's the Senior Economist at the Nevin Economic Research Institute. Lisa, welcome to Business Bites.
Thanks very much for having me.
Great to see you, and we'll get straight into it. We've just published the results of a survey that Bauer Media did in association with Belfast Chamber of Commerce, where over 200 businesses were surveyed about their views on life and business right in the here and now. You very kindly have reviewed the survey for us as an economist. Let's get straight into, I suppose, the headlines from that survey. What is really standing out from the results of the survey that was published earlier?
I think when you look across the all of the results from the survey, what is really standing out is this sense of cautious optimism coming through from businesses. So whilst obviously the easing of restrictions is creating this real sense of positivity and hope amongst everyone, no matter who you talk to, businesses, citizens or whatever, I think we've all learned to be a little bit cautious and a little bit wary about the future. So there's still that cautiousness there from businesses, and you're seeing that in the results which are coming through in terms of kind of which kind of supports or what kind of supports which you might need to support and further kind of prompt your recovery. Businesses are very much saying that continued grant supports for worst affected sectors are going to be required. And that to me really showed that businesses are still focused on the here and now. They're focused on their survival. They've weathered the storm, but they need to get past the kind of final hurdle. And so long as our government supports continue enough to allow them to do that, I think things are looking pretty optimistic for businesses in Belfast. Their businesses are very optimistic about the future going forward, so long as that they can weather the full pandemic storm. They've got 90% of the way. We need to hold their hand for the last 10%.
Yeah, I think that really did shine through. I suppose one of the other themes that really came through in the results was optimism and resilience of businesses. Did you see anything in there that gave you even, I suppose, further good hope for the future in that area?
Well, there was a lot of questions around, whether or not you expect to make redundancies, for example, in the future, or the amount of debt businesses have taken on until now. Businesses are saying 5% only are saying that they're expecting, yes, to make further redundancies into the future. Some businesses are still unsure. So you have still about another third of businesses saying that they're unsure of what the future holds. But again, I think that's that cautiousness. If the continuing excellent rollout of the pandemic continues, I think, things will look good. Also, another question was around, how much additional debt have you had to take on as a result of the pandemic? And you're seeing, the majority of businesses have had to take on some additional debt, but 70% have taken on just up to 20% additional debt. And whenever I was analysing the findings before, I was thinking to myself, if you would have turned around to a business last March, when they were being kind of forced to lock down, and said to them, 15 months later, you will have weathered the storm, you will still be a business, your employees will still be connected to you, and you'll be able to reopen, and you'll have had government supports along the way. Would you have done that for 20% additional debt? I think businesses would have banked on that and went with it, because that's a pretty good place. For me, one of the concerning things about those findings, though, is and I suppose what we'd want to know more about is who are the businesses who have taken on huge amounts of debt, which sectors and subsectors are they located in, and are they able to service that debt? So we know that a lot of the businesses are small businesses, so any amount of debt is difficult for them. And I suppose that need for continuing supports for the most affected sectors is the reason why we're seeing that result.
Yeah, how dangerous is it, do you think, that support ad infinitum is kind of a false economy? So have you got a view on when you think these supports should start to ease or perhaps change?
I've never been, since the start of the pandemic, thinking, businesses are, hooked on a drip that they're never going to be able to come out of. We have been in an unprecedented pandemic. We had no option but to give businesses and employees supports that which we've had. And I think what we can really tell from everything that's happened is how much of a good decision it was. The government policy actually went down that road. And I think that the worst thing that we could possibly do is to have the conversation move to the place that you need to cut that support now. You've had too much. You're hooked, and you need to get back, because at the end of the day, we still have considerable restrictions on businesses. We still have social distancing requirements. We still have only outdoor dining and hospitality at the minute. We still have restrictions on numbers, and even when being able to go back into the office, it's difficult because of social distancing requirements. So I think actually it's too early to have that conversation about, are you hooked ad nauseum to support, and to say we will weather the storm with you right until the end, and then we will tailor it slowly away, because that's the most sensible thing to do. I think what would be irresponsible at this stage is to have spent all of that money and now pull away too soon. I think that the best thing we can do is to weather that and then tailor it away slowly from businesses as they get back on their feet. We've seen from the results that businesses are saying that they're not going to get back to business as usual by next week or next month. It is going to take them between a 6 to 12-month period to be able to get back to where they were pre-pandemic. And so that's the kind of time period we should be looking at. I suppose the supports that we've had to the extent up until now, but we need some supports to continue, particularly for some of the most affected sectors. Like the arts sector, we still have no idea when they're going to be able to get back to business as usual, and the requirements are going to be put on them. Why would we kind of just say, we're giving up on you now? We need to continue that on.
Okay, yep, sound advice. Is there any link, do you think, between that theory and the view of businesses of the UK government as opposed to the Northern Ireland executive? What did you see in those views?
Yeah, so the results show that about half of businesses are saying that they thought that the UK government performed good, whilst only about a quarter of businesses were saying that they thought that the NI executive performed good. I think that's a result of the fact that the supports have come from the UK government. They've been Westminster delivered. And so, from a business point of view, who do you look to, or who do you apply for support? Where did you apply for your job retention scheme for your workers? Or where did you apply for your business support? You done this directly to the UK government. And I suppose the UK government have done a good job in terms of kind of publicising that supports have come from the UK government and not the devolved administrations. I think as all is said and done in maybe a year's time or 2 years' time, hopefully we will have emerged from the pandemic and it will be behind us, that actually the NI executive and will be seen in an equally good as light as the UK government. The NI executive did make huge decisions or huge kind of changes throughout, which is easy to forget. They completely transformed kind of our streets and kind of the way our city operated, I suppose. So that's something that I think we're not reflecting on just now.
Right. Lisa, listen, we could have talked for another 10 minutes, but it was great to get you on Business Bites this week. Thanks for taking a look at that survey for us. More details of the survey are in our LinkedIn pages. But Lisa, it's been great to talk to you. Thanks for being our guest this week.
Thanks very much.